Peace, family. It's your brother Kent X, aka Mr.100. You are now live and tuned in to Mr.100 Real as it gets, the podcast. Yes, sir, the podcast for and by the people. You understand me? So basically getting right into it, brothers and sisters and viewers and listeners, man, we're going to be getting right into it. This is a podcast in particularly where the information here will be used for drug, gang, and prison prevention, in particular of our youth, and ultimately for all those who may be allowing for the entertainment industry in certain cap, as we call it. Cap, for those of you who may not know, is an Ebonic language that is used and utilized to mean fake or false, right? For those who may not be able to navigate past the entertainment industry, some of the lyrics, some of the music videos and movies and entertainment as versus reality, we're going to help you be able to navigate through that and find out some of the whys, the hows, and reasons that some of these artists or entertainers go from nothing to success and from success to nothing in a lot of cases. And while some of them have been able to maintain a certain degree and level of success. But this is mainly to allow for our young people in particular to know, and those realistically to know, that there are many levels, right? Many spheres of existence, right? Within the entertainment industry, period, in any business. And me, as an artist who does conscious music, aspiring to become successful. And of course, you'll be able to come in here real pretty soon on all platforms, be able to get the music. But you can comment below, DM me a fire sign emoji and your email if you want to get the free newsletter and a track. And you can let me know what it is you think about the music, what it is you think about the track. Been getting some very good reviews on that. But anyway, back to it. So we basically today are going to be talking about the case with our brother, rapper, Young Thug, Young Gunna, and the YSL movement, right? And to me, it was mighty funny. And I want to touch on this. I know, it may be a little old, but I want to touch on this. And what in particular happened, right? First of all, as well, brothers and sisters, I want to get into being able to allow for us to know some things that go on with our brothers and sisters who are in the entertainment industry. For a lot of you that may not know that the entertainment industry has what is called the hip-hop police. And this hip-hop police, brothers and sisters, is basically this talks about why the NYPD hip-hop police spying on rappers. It says the current nationwide uprising against police violence is changing everything. Protests in cities around the country and the violent law enforcement and military response to all of it have affected almost every aspect of American life, from laws about police, disciplinary records to NASCAR. right? For the first time in years, many Americans are beginning to really reckon with what policing is and how it works. When police violence against black people is finally being debated and responded to in the halls of power, there's a related aspect of policing that many feel is due to be re-examined. How the police deal with hip-hop. And for very big reasons. For over 2 decades, the largest police force in the United States has had a unit dedicated to keeping tabs on rappers and the people around him. Wow. The story of the New York Police Department's so-called hip-hop police, now known as the Enterprise Operations Unit. Notice how they changed the name, y'all. They went from the hip-hop police, right, to the Enterprise Operations Unit. Begins with Derek Parker. Parker was a detective in the NYPD who in 1996 joined the department's cold case squad. Wow. He was also a longtime hip-hop aficionado. Hold on. Because I do not want to mispronounce this word. Aficionado is what it is, but let's make sure.
Aficionado.
Yeah, that's right. I was right. Aficionado. This is a person who is very knowledgeable and enthusiastic about an activity, subject, or pastime. So basically, this was who Mr. Derek Parker was, who in 1996 joined the department's cold case squad. And he knew a lot about hip-hop, right? And the players in the industry. Following the notorious B.I.G. murder in 1997. Now look how they put that in there. Parker says he caught up other members of the NYPD on raps, majors, players, giving them a 4-hour presentation about the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. Now, y'all, this is very deep, right? This is very powerful because the East Coast and West Coast rivalry, if we go into understanding really what that wasn't something that Biggie and Tupac started. Not at all. And see, brothers and sisters, this is something that we have to be mindful of. We have to really be mindful of this because nowadays what begins to happen is any given time that we desire, right, to unite or come together as a people, as we are taught that our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. But anytime that we're desirous of coming together, uniting, and doing something of good for ourselves, we always have to be mindful and watch for backbite, slander, slack talk, and gossip. What do you mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is we have to be mindful of the subtleties that are dropped. Now, looking back at this and understanding this, and this is very critical and pivotal for us, brothers and sisters, to understand, especially my young people. We see, right, success coming to our artists. And we think in our mind as artists, we think in our mind, when you sign a major deal or you get the money, this allows for us to know that the mindset is so important. When I say mindset, I mean understanding about investment of money, how to utilize your money in a way that, number one, is legal, and that you are acquiring assets, right? That you know what to do exactly with your first $1 million, how to break it down, and how you gonna make that million be set into millions, hundreds of millions, multi-millions, and eventually billions of dollars. And so, let alone how we are manipulated, is that we have a talent. And that talent is utilized in a way and is put into the market. And as it's put into the market by the powers that be, we're looking at the crumbs that trickle down because most of us are coming from meager means, meaning most of us are coming from not having nothing anyway, that the investment of those who are investing in you, you thinking it's just because of your talent. I know it. Oh, or you thinking because you went viral, right? When let alone the powers that be are already understanding and knowing this. And it's just like a banking institution, right? Give you money. Know that you do not understand the value of money and how it is to be utilized. And 9 times out of 10, that money that we receive, we end up going into debt behind. We end up living a lifestyle. And they say, and people gamble and they bet on this, people. Oh, yes, they do. They gamble on saying that depending upon your age, if you are to hit the lottery, there are people who gamble and bet how long you're going to live. You didn't just hear what I said. I say it's people who bet and gamble on how long that you are going to live. So a lot of times what we have to do and what we have to really understand, and I'm going through it now. You know, some of these books, man, that I had to go get, that I got to get into too. But, you know, some of these books, man, that I had to go get, online investing for dummies, right? Some of these books I had to go get, Dark Towers, right? Yeah. Yeah. See, a lot of these books, and I got a couple more, you know. And I got to get into them, don't get me wrong. And these things, man, we too often, and don't get me wrong, we have to scale and understand and know and prioritize our time and do what we best at. But that's not an excuse, man, for lack of education, because genuine people who you can trust with your finances are too far and in between. And realize that and understand that. And because I want my young people to know that too often we just gunning for a hit record. It's a good start. Too often we're gunning from the business at an angle for us to be manipulated and misused. We're not gunning from the angle, and shout out to my brother Nipsey Hussle, CIP, homie. Yeah, man, but we're not gunning from an angle that we understand the business aspect. We are enlightening ourselves with the knowledge and information that we need, right, to be utilized in a business manner. So now we ain't got to sell out. We don't have to cut no corners. We don't have to look for somebody to do something for us. And on the back end, I'm not going to say back end, but on the ass end, excuse my language, we are getting a deal that's not really lucrative to us. It's not. A lot of these deals are not lucrative. And then here we are, for the most part, most artists don't own their masters. And with our brother, Young Thug, who came from nothing, pretty much, and began to understand music and artistry, the gift that he had, and things and doors began to open up for him, not understanding the hip-hop police, not understanding or really realizing the power of words, not understanding these things thoroughly, and not really knowing that when we say things on social media or we're doing podcasts or we're doing interviews, if that of which we're doing, we don't have the proper spiritual base, we don't have the proper spiritual foundation up under us, then what will begin to happen is that, see, these finances and monies and things that come in, they'll begin to pull up out of us. Oh my goodness, as the minister said, the Leviathan, you know, in scripture is a beast, but he said that this Leviathan that is symbolically in scripture is talking about this monster in the sea, right? Who has these beast-like characteristics within himself. But even deeper than that, he said that the God has the ability to utilize the winds and move them in a circular motion to bring what is ever at the bottom of the ocean up to the top. Likewise, when we begin to get money, when we begin to get fame, when we begin to get these material things, if we have not deeply dug within inside of ourselves and really got foundated on some righteous principles, man, hey, look, you'll find yourself looking like a fool. you will really find yourself looking like a fool, man. And this is the reality of the situation, brothers and sisters. But anyway, basically, to get back to what it is that we're speaking on, with our brother Young Thug and the whole YSL movement and the success and things that he began to have. And I know some of y'all gonna say, oh, he was homosexual this and he was painting his nails and he was doing that. But, you know, he put out a post to talk on that. He put out a post where he did an interview. And in that interview, he talked about how his son began to want to be like his father and paint his nails when he was in the rock star lane. And the mother of this particular son was like, hey, you got to stop doing that because look, your son X, Y, and Z. So that allows for you to know and understand that there had to be someone in Young Thug's life who was whispering in his ear and telling him things. Because if our only desire is to acquire finances from not really understanding how to acquire money, what the value is of it, how to invest in ways that we can utilize and take in the knowledge and information that we need, then when every opportunity presents itself, we'll be jumping on it. Because we think in our mind this is the only way to get money. Right? So a lot of us not understanding and realizing, coming from that street life, hustling, selling dope, or pimping, robbing, or doing whatever we did on the illegal aspect, that for the most part, America started the same way. NASCAR, right? NASCAR started bootlegging moonshine. But see, you don't hear about these stories. You don't see NASCAR folks getting popped and locked up, or NASCAR police or nothing like that. Why? Why is that? It is because we have to understand within our history and lineage, as we look down, there was a period in our life where knowledge was kept away from us. Information was kept away from us. I was getting my hair cut the other day at the barbershop, and there was a little young brother in there, you know, he was with his mother. And he was whining about some candy, boy. You know, I believe the sister was a single parent, you know, and I had to be sure that I was on point, respectfully, you know, and so I thought about it a little bit on how I would reach out to the young man. And I said, man, I know, hey, you whining over there. You big boy, ain't you? Yes, sir. Well, actually, he didn't say yes, sir. But when I said that, he did get quiet. And he still was asking for that candy a little few minutes later, but he did get quiet. And in saying that, when he did do that and he finally calmed down, right? And as I was leaving, I was like, how can I leave an impact on this young man? Right? And so I went in my pocket and I sure didn't want to, man. My lad had 3 $2 bills and some other little coins. And I say, here, what is this? I had my $2 bill. Well, it was going to be his pretty soon. But I had the $2 bill and I put it in front of him and I say, but what is this? He says, money. I say, but what kind of money? To be sure he could read, he says $2 bill. I say, yeah. I say, now here, you can have, but wait, before I give it to you, you got to promise me that you read 1 book a week, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to turn that $2 into more. And even the older barbers and things that was there, they were like, whoa, you know, his mom was like, yeah, that's facts. And I could have went into greater detail. That we have to be clear on exactly what it is that we weak at and what it is that we want and what it is that we need in order for us to be successful. And with that, brothers and sisters, realistically speaking, we have to truly understand what it is that we're after and what it is that we want. Next episode, we're going to be getting deeper into the Young Thug YSL movement, the hip hop police, and everything that comes with this whole movement. Please go down, like, share, subscribe, comment. Hey, your brother 100. Real as it get the podcast. Come back. Tune in. Next episode. Peace. Oh, tell yourself you love yourself. Because if you do, nobody else will have to. And THINK, think like God.
Lord, you kept me strong.